That's not what you're after. You're after a V star, like then a
Yeah.
little bit exciting, at least a full art with a bit of color on the card. So
Yeah.
yeah, there's something with that. I think the other part, which I wanted to touch on too, is I do. Wait, did we start a new stream? I think it just kicked us off.
Did it?
I
Mine's
think we
working
just
here.
started.
It's
I
actually
think we just
working really
started now
good
again.
right now. Did it just reset on its own?
Yeah,
Okay, it's running great now on my end. I don't know what
good.
changed or what it did. What a pain in the butt, Adam.
Hopefully they jump back in. Yeah,
They'll come.
my other concern is I don't know if it's a concern. I don't know if that's the right word, but PSA still isn't doing bulk. I mean, still isn't doing like an affordable price that us average Joes would want to pay, like for cards. You know, we're not grading the cards that we love at $50.
No.
Like that just isn't a thing. Like nobody has ever or will ever do that. Um, well, I tell a lie. I did send one card at $50, but I was already sending some cards in. I did in my submission. I did send one, but that's one at 50 out of well over 100 that I've sent in the past year or so.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, it just isn't a thing. I think getting down to 20, you're still creeping a little bit closer, but paying $20 to grade a card that's worth 10, some people can't justify that kind of stuff. So
No.
getting down to $10, I think it's going to come a long way with the love and the price of the raw cards. Knowing that there's a bit more realistic chance of not losing as much for grading, not losing as much for being a bit more, of an investment in what you're spending. But they're still selling when they're coming back now. Like there's still cards, Evolving Skies and Celebrations. There's still cards that are selling like above grading price. They're still there. I mean, I bought a not so long ago. I bought the Pikachu from Crimson Invasion. I was joking with PK about it last night. It's the Crimson Invasion where it's like sat on like an island or a beach or whatever it is, and it's a beautiful artwork. And I paid like 30 something bucks for it. I'm trying to find it now, but obviously like grading hasn't been cheap in like quite a while. And it's a brand, fairly new slab.
Mm-hmm.
Wonderful card, but they're not selling for 60, 70, 80 to make up for that price. So there's only so long that minimum grading price can hold on for. I'll wait out when PSA's prices drop. I'll buy it raw then, and then I'll grade it. I'll buy a nice clean one that looks centered. It looks clean. It looks good. I'll spend $10 on it, and then I'll grade it at $10, and I'll feel good about it. But when you're talking about $30, $40 on the card, plus it's $50 for grading, there's confidence issues there. Not everybody has crazy money to be spending on that kind of stuff. We've got to be realistic. Some people just want to spend $50 on an ATB, and I hope it doubles in a couple of years.
Yeah. And that's the thing is, and that's what we hear a lot of things. A lot of people are telling, you pull up a top 5 or like people pull random products and say, these products are going to do great, they're going to appreciate in value no matter what. Well, is that statement true? Yes, absolutely. It's extremely a cop out on it. Because name one Pokemon product in the last, since Pokemon's come out, that's gone backwards. Trying to find that product is so hit or miss or hard to do that it's such a cop out. Yes, it's going to go up. Is there better places that you can put your money when it comes down to it? Is an ETB a better price gainer than tins, boxes, V-boxes, things like that? Absolutely. There's better products. There's better places to put your money. Whether it's graded slabs, whether it's into singles, whether it's into boxes, ETBs, these kind of things. And, I see so many top 5s where, people go, buy this product. No, well, yeah, but if they print it again and again and again and use the same box over and over and over again, is it really a good investment in the overall? I mean, personally, like I've said in other videos, you want your money to work for you. You don't want it to sit there and spin its wheels for 2 years, because if it's spinning its wheels for 2 years and doing nothing, why not put it in the S&P 500 and get 8% for those 2 years and then jump into the product after it starts to move up? I mean, it just doesn't
Why
make
not?
sense. It's just like Brilliant Stars. If there's no point in investing into it, like now, you're seeing that huge jump. And yeah, if you were buying stuff, if you could have gotten it from, and you try getting it from a wholesaler, and you try and get it at maybe $10 per box more than what they're paying for it pre-release. That when you get it, you can do some online sales and try and make that original money. But after that, a lot of times these products may get bogged down. Brilliant Stars might be a perfect example of how everybody hyped and FOMO'd this thing, because nobody would sell me a box, even a case of it, for less than $120 to $130 a box or a booster box pre-release. And now them people, I've gotten 2 messages today. If I sold them to you for $115, would you take it? It's like, well, no, I'm not going to take it. There ain't a chance. I'm losing my chances to actually see a return on that. And like I said, sometimes quick sales is a good way to do it. Do I want to sit on booster boxes of Brilliant Stars with what we're seeing currently with the set? Like I said, I think the hype and FOMO of the set was there. And once the set hit, the pull rates, I feel, really set this thing back. Everybody's pulling this trainer gallery, and to be honest with you, I don't think the trainer gallery is good. There's some good hits inside of that one, but it's, once again, loaded full of Urshifus. Why is Urshifu the number one character right now? I understand the play dynamic with battle styles, with the rapid strike, single strike, fusion strike.
Kills it. As a playable card, kills it.
I know.
I mean, it's fantastic, but how many people are buying Brilliance to play?
Well, that's just it. I mean, you got this set as more of a collector set once again. That Trainer's Gallery is more of a collector. It's supposed to stand out, be cool. Yeah, I understand. But once again, why am I going to pull, and I was looking at the Trainer Gallery cards. So they got this, we pulled the Urshifu VMAX. It's the same set as the Brilliance, or as the Battle Styles version. Once again, It's the same exact move, same exact thing. So why would I take this card, which could potentially be more money because it's a full art, fully set up, and potentially damage it in tournament play, when I could just go buy the one from the VMAX box that came out for, Black Friday, and use that card? So once again, is there really a value in having an Urshifu again, or could a Brilliant Stars have maybe amped it up, especially the gold cards? Why do Urshifu gold cards on top of it? You could have picked any of the 30 of them that were out there and potentially had a better gold card setup than what we had on this. So I get it because of the battle style, single strike, rapid strike, why they went with Urshifu. But on the other hand, why...
It works.
So...
Yeah, I think... when I said balls to the wall, I mean, I really think they were trying to appeal to literally everyone. Play collectors, trainer lovers, like Charizard, like, just, it feels like they just painted the walls. Like, everyone, like, let's just throw everything at a set, just make it incredible and amazing. Like, how can one thing or two or five things just dominate, the set when it's like that? There's just way too much of a spread. And when you're talking about that many cards, you're not pulling that many cards in a booster box. You can't pull 10% of the heavy hitters in a booster box. Like, it just isn't going to happen.
No.
And what I do think was interesting, I want to circle back to right when you first started talking there, you mentioned tins. And I definitely feel that people view tins as something to open rather than seal, and like as a serious thing. I feel like people are much more inclined to save a booster pack, a blister, an ETB, or a booster box, like something that's a little bit more generic and vanilla. Like, you know what you're getting. It's plain, it's simple, it's easy to understand. With tins, some people don't know what packs are in the tins. Like, some people don't know what promo is in it. Some people know what year it is. Like, there's confusion. It's not clear, with for some people. And I don't know if that's on purpose. I don't know if it's just like to make it as a fun product of like, hey, this is the art that's on the tin, and whatever you get is in it. I don't know what aspect Pokemon was trying to hit with that, but there's some pretty special tins that sell pretty low and have fantastic packs in it. I mean, there's tins that have Cosmic Eclipse in it that are selling for almost, if not slightly, just over what one cosmic eclipse sells for.
Yep.
Like that to me blows my mind. And circling that into Brilliant Stars, are people going to be buying Brilliant Stars tins hoping to get packs in it when the percentage of chance getting a hit in a Brilliant Stars pack, when you've got so many other cards, that one card that you want to get, you're not going to get it in a tin. I mean, despite how much I love tins, I mean, I got a few back there.
Like a few of them.
Most of them I've given, I've donated to my wife's school. I donate like $200 worth of crap this week. Just threw it at them. The kids love it, but I don't know if I would ever buy a tin in hopes of getting the card that I want when we're talking about Brilliant Stars. Like there's much going on. But if I really wanted that card, maybe jump into a booster box, maybe buy a single, maybe target a little bit more, straight and narrow. So when you touched on that, I wanted to address it because I think with some other sets that maybe have a bit lower or maybe a bit better pull rates, in terms of what you might actually get, people might be more inclined to get, the people that know what's in those tins might be more inclined to buy those tins. Yeah, it's a very interesting topic for me, tins. There's a lot going on. There's a lot to talk about with that.
Yeah. And to me, I enjoy certain tins regardless. I mean, if like for example, I hate to say, I like the dynamic of the Empoleon and the Tyranitar tin from Battle Styles is a good example. I don't overall, I don't think it's a great tin. Once again, I think it's better just to open up and have fun. But to me, they're not going to change or reprint that tin in 2 years, 3 years down the road and put a completely different set inside of it. So when it comes down to it, you could, I hope not. You wouldn't think you'd see that on that particular tin, which is where I kind of talk about when you're looking at, tin collecting and tins that you want to be actually investing in or might have potential to them. A perfect example is this one. I mean, this Pikachu Zegrom tin. I love this tin. It's a fantastic, fun tin. You know what's inside the tin. You know what's going to be inside and what comes with it.
Top 10%.
Yeah. And I mean, it's probably not going to be reprinted again. Now that we're out of Sun and Moon. I thought maybe when they did the big boxes through Walmart, Target, and GameStop that it might come back something similar, but it hasn't. So as long as that doesn't come back, you know what's inside of it. You know what the packs are inside of it. And if you're searching for a certain set, you know that if you go on eBay and someone doesn't put the tin number, which sometimes, like I found out on that tin I did the video on about saying how crappy they are and you don't know what's in it. Come to find out, they printed the tin, the ID underneath the lip. So you had to open it in order to see the ID on the set that I had. Well, that doesn't do me any good when I'm trying to decide, is this a D21?
For success there. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, is this a D21? Is this a C20? Is this a, A18? I mean, that tin was used so many times that you don't know what's in it until you open it up. And there was, depending on what year it was, it ended up being, originally there was XY and Sun and Moon, and then, of course, it changed over and went to Cosmic Eclipse and a Darkness Ablaze, and then it went, just kept evolving. So it's just kind of interesting how that kind of continues to change. And then, going back to what I said originally, Derek Lavender put up a good point here, is that with these trainer gallery cards, they are playable. They are really set up. And the good thing is that he's right. If they're this cheap, what they're running right now, I mean, it's Urshifu I think the last time I looked, that Urshifu VMAX card that came inside of Brilliant Stars, I think is like $4 right now for that VMAX. It's like $4 or $5. So yeah, you're right. If you wanted to bling out your deck right now, these would be fantastic little throw-ins because the alternate arts are a lot more expensive. I mean, if you go to even the Battle Styles alternate arts to put them in to bling out your set, you're looking at a $30 to $40 card versus a $4 trainer gallery card.
I think there's a bigger picture to that though, not the card wise, but deck wise, because I can tell you in my town there is no games going on. There is no card shops playing games. There is nothing going on. I don't know about the rest of the US right now, but in my area, I mean, I have seen nothing happening. Like, I can't even remember the last time I played physical cards with someone. It's been a long time. Like, COVID obviously had a massive impact on that, and I don't know. It's just there's not much going on. So I would love to hear, you know, some other stuff going on with the live play, you know, in real life, IRL, what's going on with that, because I'm not seeing much of it. I'm not seeing many people talk about it. I'm not seeing any videos posted on YouTube. I'm not seeing anyone talking about, you know, events they've been to. I haven't seen any myself. So I feel like maybe people aren't really decking out their decks, you know, aren't really spending that much time and money on it right now. Maybe wait until summer. I don't know. I really don't know what's going on, but I haven't seen much happening on that personally. I don't know about you in your area.
That's really odd because, I mean, all of our LGSs are constantly doing tournaments, and they have been for at least the last year. I mean, their first real pre-release tournaments, again, were official ones, were during Evolving Skies, but they just didn't have non-sanctioned ones prior to that. So, I mean, we've been doing tournaments pretty much non-stop ever since COVID, since the first real wave of COVID. But Wisconsin's really fought on the keeping people abilities to do this for our businesses and things. So a lot of our LGSs have just been cycling through. You know, they do 2 Pokemon tournaments a week, and then they do 2 Magic tournaments a week, and then they kind of fill it in with, you know, every other week they switch between like Flesh and Blood, Dragon Ball Z, and they just kind of rotate through the tournaments. But realistically, yeah, I mean, we've had actually a lot of tournament play, and it's gotten really heavy since Evolving Skies really was the real kickoff. So,
jealous.
yeah, I know.
But I don't. Have you seen much on YouTube? I mean, Facebook. Have you seen much people? I mean, I have seen nothing. I've seen nobody playing in person. No events. I was at Collecticon, and I didn't see anyone on a side table at the way playing. Nobody. Me and Chief Keen, we pulled a couple of boxes and we, you know, did a little video or, you know, pulled some cards and opened some packs, and I didn't see, out of well over 1,000 people there, I didn't see a single person playing the game. No. Not one. So for me, I don't know, maybe it's Florida or whatever, maybe it's the area, but I don't know how much people are investing their money into the actual game in person right now. I think a lot of it is people love the artworks, people love the idea of maybe it being worth more in the future, but then we have the resistance from PSA with their pricing. We have the resistance of, you know, no games or events really happening. You know, I don't think Worlds is happening in the US this year. You know, so even some of the more serious collectors and players aren't really going on with that. And you know, we've had a gap since there was much hype. You know, it's been a little while since Celebrations Evolutions hit, so maybe a bit of excitement has dulled down a little bit, I guess, from that. You know, Christmas was crazy. People spent a lot of money, and because things were kind of back to normal and people wanted to be around. And I don't know. I think there's just so many different factors happening on different levels right now with this set that are going against it.
Yeah, and that's just it. I mean, it's just bizarre because, you know, like I said, when we were going into this, even when VMAX Climax came out, everybody knew that a lot of these cards, you know, especially a Trainer Gallery, was going to make it into this. And there was so much hype at that point on this set. Everybody was really, really just like, oh my God, this thing is just going to be huge. You know,
VMAX Climax is gorgeous. Yeah.
and like I said, just to see this set go from, you know, booster boxes the day before release, we're going for $162 on TCG Player, and there were several sales at that point. And now
Yep.
today I
Strong.
just looked strong. I mean, it was climbing strong all the way through there. And like I said, this is like watching crypto or stock market on this set, just how it was building, 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 and then it hit and it got released, and it was just like someone just cut the wire and the whole thing just rolled right down the hill. Now booster box, like I said, are running at 129 consistent sales, 124 for consistent sales. We're seeing, you know, cards like I said earlier. You're just seeing everything just tumble right down the hill. And it's just crazy, you know, with organized play. Like I said, these cards are playable. These cards are usable. That Arceus with that V star is, I mean, I was looking at the dynamic of that and looking at how I could put that in my deck, because that is a hitter. I mean, that thing, you get that in the table, that thing's going to do some damage.
Crushed me.
You know, especially against a bigger opponent. You know, someone has an evolved opponent fully up to VMAX. That thing's going to hit it hard. And, you know, once again, I thought that playability, that Arceus might drive it. I mean, the gold card, you know, the alternate arts, of course, always tend to not get played as much as the regular V card or the regular VMAX card, which makes sense. You don't want to damage that card that's hard to pull. But just watch all of it. I mean, every play, even the playable, the cards you would think would be playable, we've seen them all just roll downhill. But then you got that little Charizard. I laugh. That Charizard full art just kind of keeps creeping its way up the ladder. That's the only one that kind of seems to be going the other way. And it's just interesting that the alternate art for Charizard's falling. It's kind of flatlined now. It did catch itself now by the end of the week here, and it's kind of bumped up just a tiny bit and sat. You know, that Rainbow Rare dropped, kind of flatlined and sat. And now we're seeing, you know, that the regular V coming up.
Let's talk on that. Let's talk on the Rainbow Rare, because the past few months there's been a lot of talk and comments on people being over and bored of the Rainbow Rares, and they're not that great. You can't really see them from far away. You can't make out what they are. Not that exciting. I know you've talked about it on your channel, on the excitement of them in the future and what they might do, but based on kids right now, this set very much reassures me that people like Rainbow Rares right now.
But is it Rainbow Rares or is it Rainbow Rare Charizards? I know. That's
the question, right? I mean,
to me, every time you hear someone say that they're over Rainbow Rares, but yet once again, like you said, why is the alternate art not ahead of the V? The only thing that's different between the Rainbow Rare and the alternate art is the alternate art is a V, and the Rainbow Rare is the VMAX. But once again, am I gonna play the Rainbow Rare, which is the more expensive of the cards, or am I gonna play the standard VMAX or V Star card, which is more common, easier to get, and, you know, if you do damage it, it's not going to be as big of a hit to my pocketbook versus the Rainbow Rare one. So once again, why is the Rainbow Rare on top of the pile?
How many of the VMAX do you want? You know, like the V's are like, yeah, it's, I don't know. I don't know, but I do feel reassured on like what you were talking about with Rainbow Rares, because I did feel a little hesitant on where they were going based on what you know some people have said before on, you know, over the past few months, and I think people like them. Like right now, I think it's that simple. I think people like Rainbow Rares.
You know, I don't know people, because even myself, I don't necessarily like Rainbow Rares, but when I pull them, I'm excited.
I don't have a single one.
I just collect them, you know, for the investment side of it for later, because I've been able to pick them up pretty cheap right now. But the fact is that I don't necessarily like them. I like the full arts and I like the alternate arts more. But the Rainbow Rares, whenever you pull one, you instantly get an excitement about it, because you know what it is. You can pull some of these Vs now with the full arts, and it's really hard to tell sometimes if it is an alternate art. Is it the standard V? Is it the full art? But you pull a Rainbow Rare, you instantly know what it is. It's an instantaneous hit, adrenaline hit,
Instant.
just from pulling it out of the pack, because you know that it's, you don't have to go to the set book and go, okay, was this the regular V or was this the alternate art V? Like Evolving Skies. Some of the alternate arts, it was hard to tell if they were alternate arts or if it was the actual part, the actual set card. So, like I said, personally, I don't like rainbow rares. They're a wash card. They don't have all the standout colors, the really good look to them. But like I said, when you pull, it's an instant adrenaline hit because an endorphin hit because you know what it is instantly.
You know what I
people
should
in the
do?
comments.
I see people saying they hate them. What I should do is pull how many are getting graded.
Yeah.
Specifically of rainbow rares for each set. Because I think separating those away from the big hitters that people actually love because they want the card and the color, I think could give us a bit of an indicator. But like, I have come to appreciate rainbow rares have kind of pushed me away from stuff and kind of made me appreciate artwork and stuff. Like I was just, I was talking with PK last night, and this Snorlax, just a, just a regular non-holo rare Sword and Shield base set. You can't really see it that clear. I don't know why it's not good.
It's
Not
all right.
good clear, but and it's just a absolutely incredible piece of art. Like literally, an artist made this picture. Like a true, talented, smart, intelligent, just beautiful piece of art. And it's what, a 20 cents card, like a 20 cents piece of art. Like that is incredible to me. It's gorgeous. It's like sat there, there's like apple trees and there's clouds in the background and grass, and there's like foreground and background, and there's so much going on. And then I look at that and I look at a rainbow art with basically a stencil outline and a bit of color and flash. Yeah. There's no comparison for me. There's a couple of South cards, who's an incredible artist too. This one was Chibi, but there's a couple of South art cards where commons and uncommons, and I mean I look at them and I'm like, this is a literal piece of art. Like this card is beautiful, incredible.
Well, I'm just going on to that. This Urshifu, I don't know if you guys seen this one from the trainer gallery. The artwork on it is phenomenal. Insane. Now, if this was a rainbow rare, it would look like crap. There would be hard to distinguish what's going on. It would get rid of all the vibrance of this. This, to me, is a beautiful card. The artwork is beautiful. I love how it stands out. I mean, even this one, we just pulled this one.
Perfect example.
The Colonel Mustard. It's a fantastic looking card. I mean, if you did that in a rainbow rare, it would completely wash it to where it is no longer interesting. And that's just it.
There's no story, right? No. Both of those cards you just showed, I feel like there's a story. Something is happening. That artist is trying to tell something that is like a verb. Like there's something occurring at that point, and it's very hard to vocalize, but everybody feels it when they see the artwork. Like there's something in action. And with the rainbow wear, gorgeous. I mean, it looks cool. I love it. It's fantastic.
But I love the full art version of this. This is the Arceus V-Star, but the full art is a heck of a lot. I like the vibrant color of the full art.
It's fantastic. It's gorgeous, but I don't get that artist aspect of it. That beautiful story, emotional connection to it.
Yeah.
It's flash.
And that's what you get with the rainbow. You don't get that, that vibrancy, that standout. What was actually being meant. You look at a full art and you look at the actual artwork. When it's got the color, you can see the motion, the background, the foreground, the action of the Pokemon. Everything's kind of showing. But when you put it in a rainbow era aspect, that's just all gone. It's just flat. There's no more. Huh?
are we old though? There's the thing. Like I second guess myself. Like, does an 8-year-old that's pulling that right now think in 20 years time I want to spend $1,000 on that card?
I, I don't ever think that that's going to happen in a lot of
$100.
these, and it's possible. I mean, if it was his favorite Pokemon, I always sit there and like the Rainbow Rare Pikachu. I think certain ones would do that, of course, because the intrinsic value of it, the mental value, the excitement value that comes from it. So, like I said, Jacob with the Rainbow Pikachu, perfect example that he is going to continue. If that card, I can tell you right now, if he had the money when he gets older and that card is sitting at $1,000, he's probably going to purchase it just because he wants to have that card. And that's exactly what it comes down to, even though we don't like Rainbow Rares, and that's what I kind of point out in videos.
How many others? How many other kids are feeling that?
Yeah.
I don't know. I genuinely don't. I have no idea.
Yeah.
What I do know is right now, in this moment, I don't love them. No. Some people do love them, but I know what I want for me. And
yes.
And that's very difficult to separate my own feelings and emotions and love from the head of what do we need to invest in? Like, what is going to actually be worth something? Oh, he's skipping.
There it goes. It's back. Should be back.
So can you hear me okay?
Yeah, I can hear you.
You said, scrap gold stars or rainbow rares, and I truly believe it's 6 of one and half a dozen of another. Like, I don't know if there's any real true answer to that. I think what I like with gold, the gold ones and the eye appeal of those is that they look a little bit more serious, almost. Yes. A little bit more business-like and official. I don't know the right word for it. I guess that's just my feeling for it, but definitely a level of like connection on a less flashy way, but more of a, oh, this guy's gonna play, he's gonna beat me. Like, this guy's gonna be difficult without even looking at his attack or his HP.
Yeah. And that's just, like I said, to me, it's just kind of curious because I've heard arguments both ways. Gold cards are kind of lived off their lifespan too, and then you go all the way to people who hate rainbow rares and said they have lived off, their lifespan is over also. And, I agree. I think we're getting too deep in some of these cards now. With throwing in alternate arts now, you've got, now they're going, did you see the new set for, I can't remember the name of the set for Japanese now, has sparkling Pokemon or like,
it
sparkling,
was like
shiny sparkling or something.
From the star or it was like from the sparkle or something. It translated. I forget.
So now we got sparkling Pokemon, and it's like, well, how many more layers are we going to keep throwing on here without removing a layer?
Yeah, and you know what I do like? I've got to admit, I am optimistic with that. I would really like a new holo pattern because I've seen a lot of Japanese cards with some pretty sexy holo patterns that we are not getting in English variations. So that excites me, the idea of a potential star pattern. I don't know, maybe something a little more, I know, not as far as like legendary collection reverses, like not that crazy, but like something with just a little bit of edge with the pattern. I know we've got textures going on right now and that kind of stuff, but that could be fun.
Well, I always said, when Sword and Shield came out, I always said that this was the most boring, even for the reverses. The reverse rare holo was just absolutely boring. They got rid of all the depth to it. They got rid of everything, every part of that. Now, did you see the reverse rares have and on the Japanese, this new set are all Pokeballs. So they're like holographic Pokeball. They're actually that was sweet. I wish that they would do that right now in Sword and Shield. Just dump these crappy reverse rares and put them out there. They look awesome. And then you sit there and you look, like I said, the brick hollow on some of these. Um, and you, but the question is, this was something that we were talking about this on the side, and I actually saw TCG Funhouse brought this up on Wednesday too, or maybe it was
Yeah.
2 weeks ago on Wednesday. Why do we keep putting reverse hollows in sets? Does anybody really care about them?
I love them, but I don't do anything with them. I just appreciate
Even love
them,
wise,
kind of.
I don't have any use for them whatsoever. To me, it just makes me get a bigger binder. I just
Yeah, that's a
personally,
problem.
to me now these sets are so big. I have to buy the gigantic four up binders now in order to fit these things. If I want to do a true master set where I'm collecting the the unhollow, the reverse hollow, and the hollow of some of these things, these binders just get massive. And it's like,
it's a real issue.
yeah.
I mean, it has been for a while. I mean, we've had reverses for 20 years almost.
Mm-hmm.
Well, yeah, 20 years. It's been an issue, and I think the biggest fight to that is the ease of pulling reverses. Like, they're generally not that rare and that difficult to get.
No.
So I think that's like how they justify carrying them on, is just like a flashy uncommon, basically. Sometimes common, sometimes rare, whatever. But yeah, it's just like one little like cookie crumble on the
That's just it. They stick a shiny object into the pack to make you feel like you got something out of the deal.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is.
To me, it's just, for me as a collector and as a person who enjoys just collecting master sets, like I'm seeing over here, they're filler. They're a sparkly piece of filler cardboard that really is not necessary. And
thinking about what you're saying right now is, it's almost kind of condescending. Now that I think about it in that context, like it's condescending. Like, we know that we need the common and uncommons, those kind of cards, but this isn't a different card. Like, we're already getting those in the set. Like, the reverse is a reverse of the ones we're already getting. Like, we either want that or the rares to actually play and take the hits with. It is. It's kind of condescending that you say it. And I'm just kind of thinking of that perspective.
It's just there. I mean, you're gonna get it. So is it really a tidbit inside of it of good? No, because you know it's there. The only thing it changes is sometimes it has a star on it, but it's also the common, the uncommon. So it really is just binder space.
Andrew Lopez is talking about the different pattern on the reverse. So, game changer. Let's not make English so vanilla. We're talking about these Japanese sets that have amazing, all different multi-variation hollow patterns doing a million different things. Let's throw some of that fun on the reversers that are doing nothing. Like you say, the filler. It wouldn't feel as filler and vanilla if they had some pretty fantastic hollow patterns going on and a little bit of excitement with that. At least if I pull an Agron reverse or something, like, hey, a little bit of excitement. I've got a pattern I haven't seen before. Pokeballs. That can't be that difficult to create, surely.
No. And the other thing is too is that even if you just did it on the rares, if you just made the reverse rares with a Pokeball, and then you had, like, it used to, from what I remember when I was a kid, you used to get the reverse rare. When they originally, if I remember right, they were only the reverse rares. They didn't do them on the reverse commons and the reverse uncommons. Maybe I'm wrong. I'm just trying to remember from back in the day what we used to do. And so if you were to go back to just the rares, so if you made the rares a reverse and then a hollow, and the commons and the uncommons are just common and uncommons, why stick that hollow pattern on them, and just continually try to fill binders full of cards?
An extra variation.
Extra variation that really means nothing because it's in every pack and you're guaranteed to get it. And just make them the rares only. Just keep that slot, keep it open, for the reverse rare if you do get it, and otherwise go to the hollow variation.
hang on. Poor Leon wants me to tease him with some stickers. Give me 1 second. I'm gonna grab them.
Flips. Oh, there you go. Yeah, I think I got a couple of them up here too.
Love it. I don't know if these are actually classed as action flips. These were the gold, the rare gold sticker versions of it. I got the full set. That's a cool one. I love that one. Sleepy Snorlax. Lazy Git. Squirtle Squad. Oh my god. Guys, Squirtle Squad. Who loves Squirtle Squad? Have you got some of the lenticular action flip ones?
No, lol.
No.
Interesting.
Holos for cards. Oh, I see.
Do you mean action flips like it has new holo cards? Are you talking like the ones where you kind of turn them and then they change the action it? Yeah, you can change.
These were the gold sticker version of the action flips.
Gotcha.
So these were like 1D, 2D, whatever you call it. Like and what he was talking about the lenticular where they're like moving or doing things.
Yeah, so they could do like a punch or change the character. Yeah, like Mewtwo would transform or Mew would transform or something. Yeah.
I've asked the same thing in a couple of YouTubers. I've asked PK a couple of times. I've asked Mason and Echo Base. I've asked a couple of the guys like, do you think lenticular are going to come back? But not obviously tops isn't going to be a thing. Maybe a Fanatics one day. I don't know what's going to happen with those in terms of Pokemon potentially in the future, but Pokemon could maybe do that for a promo or something. I just feel like they've removed themselves so far away from where that was. Like the type of design they do now is just makes that feel elementary. Like it just makes it feel so rudimentary and like so far away from it. Despite how much I love it and wish it would make a comeback, honestly.
Well, and then I got one question. Why is Sword and Shield so against Mewtwo? I kind of felt like they disrespected him by putting Mewtwo in the Brilliant Stars, and they didn't even give him a holo. He gets a reverse rare, and he gets a non-holo rare. And you do instead of Fusion Strike, where it is a psychic Pokemon set, where he makes Fusion Balls, they couldn't put him in the Fusion Strike set with anything. It's like they're completely avoiding Mewtwo right now in Sword and Shield.
Too much logic.
Too much logic.
Too much logic. I mean, it just makes too much sense. Like it's just too obvious. I think that would just fit perfectly with doing a little extra, little salt drop on the steak right there. It definitely could have been something exciting there. What's interesting for me is, I know you said Mewtwo, obviously a fantastically huge, massive hitter in Gen 1. Like at this world, one of the huge, biggest fan favorites. But what I find really interesting from Gen 1, when I look back to like when Mewtwo was around, is cards like, where the frick is Dratini? Like,
that's another one.
Where's some of these like real like basic, literally basic level cards, like that grows into a Dragonite? I mean, where's Dratini? Where's some of these real like lovely cards, artworks, like fantastic dynamics that could have done amazing things with and a little bit more fun and character rare? You imagine a character rare with the Dratini. Like there's a lot that could be going on with some of these Gen 1 cards and some of the Gen 2. Imagine Cyndaquil in this training gallery set right now. Like there's some cute Pokemons from early on that could be really fun right now. And
they could have brought in a Legend. It was even said down in the comments.
What's the last set Cyndaquil was in? Yeah.
I believe that there was a Was there a Cyndaquil in Vivid Voltage? I'm trying to remember.
No, was it really?
No,
I don't
I
remember
can't
that.
remember now. Maybe not. No, because there was no Typhlosion in there. That's what
It's
I'm
been a
trying to remember
while.
where the last Typhlosion set is. I know we got one coming up. The next sets look like we got the Japanese sets have Typhlosion, Cyndaquil. There's like three different
Oh, I think
artworks
it's on the
for.
pack off. I think it's on the
Yeah,
pack off Astral Radiance. I think we're gonna get some hits there, but that's what I'm saying. Why has it took this long to get some
I know.
like incredible, like why joking celebrations with how many I pulled and the
Oh
card
yeah.
in there. I feel like the like a couple of real special cards in there with some of the the legendary and
Yeah. Well,
rarer Pokemon.
that's what I said. Lugia was in. They had what a Lugia card in. Just I think that was the same one. He was running. I think he maybe had a hollow in Vivid Voltage. But realistically, to me,
Yeah, I've got it.
Why are we putting legendary? That's another thing that kind of drives me crazy in Sword and Shield right now. Why are we putting legendary Pokemon as just hollows and non-hollow rares? Why is there
Right.
Entei that are just a hollow? Why are they not being at least a V? Even a Lugia. Why are we putting a Lugia down in a hollow?
It's not
These are
Cinderace.
legend. Yeah, I mean, yeah. I think that's just Lugia had a reverse hollow, and I think it was a regular. I don't remember if he had a hollow or not. I think he did have a hollow in Vivid Voltage, but it was just
I think
it's.
it was Velvet Voltage. It's one of the more common sets. I've got it. I've got it
I
in
got a
a
ton of them.
Cod
Whatever
Saber
it was
one.
on,
Yeah.
they were all over the place. But it's like why are we putting legendary Pokemon down in hollows? It just doesn't make sense. Mewtwo once again a legendary Pokemon. He shouldn't be on a non-hollow. I mean, he didn't even get a hollow in the set. We go through Entei, Suicune. Why is Suicune and all these cards just on regular hollows at the most? It's just these are legendary Pokemon and they should never be down at that level. V card
God level.
minimum, I would say.
God level.
Yeah.
In terms of actual Pokemon, God level. I mean, right up there. You play the game, you're in it, you're immersed in that in a Game Boy. Suicune, talking about Pokemon Crystal, like that ain't something you're running into on Route 31. Like, it just ain't happening. Like, there's definitely some perspective that needs to come from like the Pokemon world into the Pokemon game when you're talking about the TCG side of stuff. Absolutely. I think another thing to consider that kind of bugs me a little bit is very similar to what you were just saying. So we've got very high level cards that are a little bit lower, but also some lower level cards that I would not expect to be that fantastic to be a little bit higher. So
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna kick myself in the back here, but with Brilliant Stars, that Hoot card, um, through VMAX Comics, it's gorgeous. I mean, it's absolutely stunning, but it's a Hoot. Why are we not jumping on Mewtwo for the most spectacular artworks for a set?
Yeah. Well,
Like,
why hasn't
why
Pikachu gotten an alternate art, but yet Sandakana has got a alternate art or Greedence? What is Pokemon's deal with Greedence right now? It's like they are really pushing the Greedent pretty heavy all of a sudden, and I don't know why. Why does he have an alternate art, but we don't have a Pikachu alternate art? Why do we not have
kind
a
of
Mewtwo alternate art? Why do we not have some of these big hitters, like you said, a Typhlosion alternate art?
yeah, it kind of feels like I don't know, imposter syndrome almost. Like I don't know how to describe it, but yeah, there's some cards in there that doesn't make sense, but doesn't mean I don't love them. Like there's definitely some things going on where it's hard to understand like the logic aspect of it. What I will say is that I love the amount of effort they're putting into it right now.
Mm.
Pokemon are putting a lot of effort into the artworks, a lot of effort into set variations and changing things up and messing around with it and trying to like test waters constantly. And they don't seem to be doing any kind of stopping. You
No.
know, excuse me, I got hiccups. Yeah, they're
Hold your
just
breath.
they're, yeah, they're just carrying on set after set after set. I mean, we look at the past half a dozen sets. They've been very different,
Mm-hmm.
like worlds apart. You go from Brilliant Stars to Fusion Strike to, Evolving Skies, and we can go back to Battle Stars, Chilling Reign, Vivid Voltage, Darkness Ablaze. There's this past couple of years, very, very different sets.
Mm-hmm.
Like nowhere near similarities between each other, which that gives me confidence in a certain aspect of, like, yeah, some of the cards may drift in between, and some of the mechanics and some of the trainers may drift in between each of them, but they are putting effort into changing things up and trying new stuff, and giving like a different mindset almost to each. Yeah, I don't know what's coming after Astral Radiance, but I am excited for whatever it is, just because it's going to be different.
So I know after Astral Radiance, there was a schedule up. Someone, I want to say it was on Poke Beach or Poke Guardian. They put a schedule of kind of the releases of what we got, not necessarily the names, but the time frames of what we'll be seeing them. I believe in June or July we will be seeing a holiday set coming, or one of the smaller sets.
Wow.
The speculation is that it's going to be similar to VMAX Climax. It's kind of what the word on the ground is. Whether or not that's true or not, I'm going completely off of speculation and what people are thinking.
Some amazing cards in there.
I know there's still a lot of them missing, even in the trainer gallery itself. Even if they go and do Astral Radiance and do another 30 card trainer gallery, you're still going to be short some of those. And of course, especially those gold cards. I mean, there's still 28 gold cards from, VMAX Climax that are still missing, and I highly doubt they're going to put all 30 of them into Astral Radiance.
28.
So, what's that?
28.
I believe there was 30 gold cards in VMAX Climax. I think if you look it up, I believe there was 30 of them, because a lot of people speculated that was going to be the first serialized cards in Pokemon TCG were going to be those gold, them black cards with the gold outline characters. Not gold cards, but the new, I don't want to call them, they're not like the standard gold cards. Yeah, they're the black gold, card. But there was 30 of those in VMAX Climax, and we got 2 of them in Brilliant Stars. I don't think they're going to put all of those. And yeah, I think he just said we're missing about half are missing yet still from the regular trainer gallery out of VMAX Climax. So are they all going to show up in Astral Radiance, or are we going to see that in a, English version of VMAX Climax?
Or are we going to see them at all?
Yeah, or are they just going to disappear and then get shoved into the last set of Sword and Shield? All of a sudden, you'll have a 400 card set with everything under the sun that's left over.
Let's go all the way to full.
Rummage sale.
To full. Yeah, let's go all the way to the latter half of 2022. I think this year, with obviously we're like finishing out this generation and jumping into the next generation, it feels like anything's possible.
Yeah.
Honestly, like I really these next 2 sets. But obviously the theme of this conversation was Brilliant Stars, and I think right now we know that people love it. People talk highly of it. People aren't tugging it down. They're not talking crap about it. They're not saying that they hate it. They hate that. People love the cards in it. I think there's sheer volume going on, and I think there's sheer diversity. There's just too much to pick from, so there's no one outshining anything. I really think it's that simple.
I think in general, I think the set is doing extremely well. I think for the first set in a long time, I've actually heard people complain at the local LGSs that there's too good of pull rates. And, people are getting everything that they're looking for extremely easily, which, like I said, I think is what is probably part of the issue, is that people are able to get these trainer gallery cards fairly easy. There's a lot of them out there. People aren't buying them as quickly. They're actually able to get them. And like you said, I think that's what's really causing a lot of the issues with Brilliant Stars is just the fact that, you know, the product release I think was really good. I didn't see any shortages of it. Booster boxes are readily available. All the stores have a lot of these things available. ETBs, singles. Our stores still have tons of them available. They got a good restock again this week. So obviously the distributors have plenty to be moving around. So the question is that, you know, the real weird thing is just how fast it fell. I don't, typically the drops we've seen are usually a 3 to 4, sometimes a 6 month process. And we literally watch it like a stock clicker and just dumped. And that's just not typical, and it really throws up a lot of questions on, you know, why? Why did this happen to this set when it was supposed to be all this hype, FOMO, and the set of Sword and Shield?
I'm thinking why. Honestly, you know what I'm thinking right now is, what's the best time to buy it? What's the
Oh yeah.
best to grab that box? Because I've, I don't know. Like, is it today? Do I wait out a little bit? I know it's dropped a little. It's not quite MSRP. Is in some
Mhm.
places MSRP. The cards are not quite. For the most part, the pools are not quite what you would be paying for the box anyway. So the ROI is not quite there. I think it's still just a little bit up in the air, and I would like a little bit of
Mhm.
confidence, a little bit of stability of, okay, we've got a full week of sales where this kind of price. I feel good that now's the price to buy. If I'm talking about investing,
Mhm.
essentially, if I'm trying to bull the cards that I want, just just buy the box. I mean, 10-20 bucks difference, like, really isn't gonna make that much difference if
Yeah.
if you're just trying to chase that card. But if we're talking about investing, like 10-20 bucks, 10-20% difference on your investment, that's a different ball game. We're talking about 5% people are trying to get over the year from stocks and bonds, and whatever it is
Yeah.
that's going on with 401ks or whatever. um that's a game changer. But booster box for this set, I would feel better paying 300 for 70 $100, 100 pack booster box. I feel like I need a bigger booster box,
Mhm.
to be able to get all the cards that I
Yeah.
want. There just isn't enough there. So you're buying a couple, really, if you really want to jump into it.
Yeah. And that's just it. I mean, at this point, for the investing aspect, like they're saying here, we got Pokemon Center Brilliant Stars ETBs are available again. They were down for like 2 weeks, and all of a sudden now they're still up and available to purchase. Which, you know, I always said Evolving Skies suck because I did not get it from Pokemon Center. I ended up buying those, secondary market,
Yep.
and they just were gone just instantly, and they never came back. And then Celebrations ETBs sat there forever. It's like they just kept making them, and I'm wondering if maybe that's what they're partially doing. It seems like just keep making them to order because they'll disappear for like a couple days, and all of a sudden they're back up again. So the question is are they going to be a collectible item if everybody has them here in the future, or are they just going to be printed as much as a regular ETB at the end of the day, and
Well,
everybody and their brother's going to have them?
let's think about today. Let's think about right now. Let's not even speculate. Let's try and analyze.
Mm-hmm.
Are people buying them, or are they not selling? Like,
Yeah.
is it that there's so many listed that they've printed so many despite the demand? There's so many listed that they're just not selling out, or is it that people just don't want them because they've lost confidence from the other Pokemon Center ETBs that they've bought and
Yeah.
haven't gone up and stonks and made double and we made all this crazy money? Maybe people are just bored of it. But you touched on a very good point. In 5 years' time, that's going to be a very different picture for all of the past few
Yeah.
ETBs, from Pokemon Center exclusive ETBs specifically.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? It's all a speculation. What I know is that I'd rather be in it and take the chance than regret it.
Yeah.
So one of everything just for my collection. I've got the artwork. If it goes up, it goes up. If it goes down, it goes down. I've still got it. I still love it. I love the artwork. I love having it up there. I love having it in the closet. It's just something I love. You definitely shouldn't be spending money that you don't have on these things.
Yeah.
That's very clear.
No.
Don't spend money you don't have on this stuff. But if you don't mind having it and it drops $5 over the next few months, drops $10 over the next few months, don't worry. At
Yeah.
some point, I feel very confident at some point Elite Trainer Box is going to be worth more than MSRP. Where it takes 1 year, 5 years, 10 years, 20 years, whether Pokemon goes bust and it becomes the next Beanie Babies and it's not worth anything, still crack it. There's going to be cards in there that people are going to be buying.
Yeah. And
Forever.
that's a big, conversation too that we have a lot of, that we've talked about, is you hear it through a lot of big channels. And I mean, you listen to people always go, what happens if do you think Pokemon is going to be here in 10 years? And if it isn't, what would happen? And realistically, I still think that even if Pokemon completely went out of business, I think the modern stuff would be in trouble. But I feel that a lot of the vintage stuff would still have pretty good securities. Just because of the fact that you're not so much dealing with the Pokemon company at that point in time. You're dealing with the nostalgia of the product. And yes, if you did buy it at really ridiculous prices, you're probably going to see a drop. It will all drop if Pokemon International went out of business tomorrow. But they will still have value. At the end of the day, the older it gets, the more value it'll still retain comparatively. Everything's going to drop. It's just going to be a matter of, stuff completely going to zero and how much of it's going to retain value because people are still going to want it.
My head tells me that, but my heart tells me Picasso. And I can tell you, Picasso's paintings with Jack until he died.
Yep. Then it might actually explode. Because then it's the last.
I think there could be one final hooray for some Pokemon stuff. Maybe it's a month, maybe it's a year, maybe it's 10 years. I feel like Pokemon would live strong after Pokemon shut down if it did, which it doesn't, because it's the biggest media franchise in the world. It's incredibly profitable. They're selling literal pieces of paper for dollars. The profit margin must be absolutely insane. I can't even imagine how much a pack of Pokemon cards must cost them to create. And they have their touch points in TV, lighting, furniture, cards, online games, sponsorship of other companies and other events worldwide. I mean, I think it's like 36 countries or something they have languages in right now. They have touch points and fingers in pies and so many different aspects. It ain't shutting down.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe in 30 years, but who knows where you're going to be in 30 years, no matter Pokemon. We need to think perspective in the real world. Real world thinking right now, I have no idea where I'm going to be in 30 years. So why the heck am I going to be speculating when my Pokemon cards are going to be? Let's get real. Right now, we know what we're doing is the best, smartest decision we can do with what we're going to do. Let's think about it. Let's analyze everything around it. This is what we should do.
Yeah. And that's just it. I mean, the community itself seems really strong. That's actually just seen it come up on the thing. The community itself is really strong. I think we've gotten to a point where, personally, I think that we didn't lose as many people as I thought we would. When we got that big boom and everything happened, I know we lost the flippers pretty quickly. But in general, I feel like this community has gained a lot of people. And you always think that yeah, you just think after the boom that you're going to lose so many people afterwards. It's all these people are going to kind of trail off and disappear. And at the end of the day, I don't think we lost as many. I think there's some people pretty bitter about things, but I don't think they quite left. I think that they're still involved. But that's just it. It's a strong community. I feel that if anything were to even happen to the main company, the community itself would still retain pretty well. I think people will be interested in it. And as investments, that's like we said, it's easy to say that everything will gain value because in general it has. Pokemon has continued to move forward regardless of what product even if it was the most themed decks. We call them the crappiest products on Earth, but when you sit there and look at them, go back in time, and the further you go back, they've still gone up in value. There's
so
not
much
too many.
nostalgia. So much nostalgia built around those.
And that's just it. It's just kind of interesting that no matter what happens, things gain value, things move forward, and at the end of the day, the community enjoys it. We as collectors and as a generation tend to go back to what we enjoy, how we enjoy it. That's where if you look at this generation, what are they going to enjoy and go after in 30 years? Because
connection. Yeah.
The connection. I mean, where's the connection for each generation? And that's just like I said in a couple videos. I love Gold Stars. Gold Stars were the last hurrah for me before I actually got out of Pokemon TCG in college. And I didn't come back. I did some Pokemon Go in 2016 and speculated, but I really didn't jump into it until 2019. And when you sit there and you really look at it, Gold Stars are my draw. I would love to have every Gold Star right down the line in my hand if I could afford them. Why am I drawn to Gold Stars? It's because I have the memory of that was what I was chasing. That's what I was using. That's what I was playing with when I was still playing actively in the card game. And am I going to see what is the next generation going to be looking for at that? Level X's? Yeah. Team Rocket. I mean, I love the first gen, second gen, but you sit there and look at it, Level X's to me. To me, I would go put my money on Gold Stars before I'd ever touch a Level X. I never played Level X. I don't have any intrinsic value or memory or connection to those cards.
That's the hard thing. That's the hard thing for me and you. Are we wrong? Are we right? Like,
yeah.
That's the difficult thing from my emotion and what I love, what I enjoy, and what I want to buy. Should I assume that other people want that? And that is something that I'm constantly battling with. And that's why I always try and refer to numbers. Like, what are people buying? What are people collecting? What is truly happening? And right now, people love rainbow rares. Despite me not wanting them, I haven't bought a single in a rainbow rare. Like, not one. I don't own a single rainbow rare, but I can tell you, I feel pretty confident at some point people are going to want rainbow rares based on them wanting them 20 years ago.
And to me, I don't think it's going to be all cards like we talked about earlier. It's really going to be pocketed. Do I think rainbow rare trainers will do good? I think pretty much all the trainers will do well. I think that Pikachu, Charizard, rainbow rares, of course, are going to do fantastic. I think a lot of the fan favorite ones will do really well. But do I think a discount Squirtle is gonna, or a discount Blastoise is gonna do really well in the future? Probably not. Dragna is just not gonna, like we said, discount Blastoise. Are they gonna do well in the future? Probably not. They're probably gonna be, a little bit. Yeah. They're gonna be low value, but still, is it gonna be higher than $8 in the future? Probably. I mean, just because the fact it is a secret rare of a set, it is, once again, the kid sees a rainbow rare and right now and they instantly think this is something special because it's a rainbow rare. It's a clear identification. That's why I like gold cards too. Gold cards are a clear, bam, these are a great card just because they know nothing about it. Honestly, a kid doesn't know very much about Pokemon. I mean, they know very little.
Say that they do know something about it in 20 years, and they do know it doesn't perform well in battle. When you're playing it in a deck, they do know that it doesn't sell well. It's not worth much because people haven't been buying it for the past 20 years. and they know that people don't love rainbow reds because there's now a holographic electronic rainbow red that shows up in your wallet or your phone, like
Mhm.
whatever's going on in the future. Do they still buy it because they love it? Because they were connected to it when they were in it?
Yeah,
I think probably so.
I think so.
Despite all that, I think there is an element still there to it. I still buy cards that are literally worth it. I bought a $3 card last night from 20 years ago because I love it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
for me, like it
Mhm.
was regardless of whether I think it's going to be worth something in the future or whether I think it's going to grade well. Like I was like, that is one card that I want. Like
Yeah.
that is
There's
the be
certain
all and
cards
all of it.
I've got, card savers full of them. They're just cards that they really may not be high value. They may not be, anything that people are shooting for right now, but
Yep.
I just love them. So I buy them. Yeah, they're $3 to $5, but I want it. There's no
Where's the risk?
exactly
Where's the
that, and
risk?
there's no risk anyways because I just want it for my collection. I want to have it.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
that's where it is. And that's
I do
exactly where it's going to be.
I wanna poke your pickle strings on Derek's earlier comment on the
Oh,
Pokemon Go set.
oh, oh God. Okay.
I can't tell if this is gonna be a serious set or not. I don't know what to expect with this Pokemon Go set. I don't know if we're gonna get some play with the game. Maybe there's a card that unlocks something. Maybe I don't know. I literally have no idea what to expect with this. What I do know is what I've seen so far from the pack artwork is that it doesn't look very exciting artwork
No.
style. And I
From
think I have questions is what I'm gonna say.
I don't know. I I'm just worried. I was worried when I saw them announce that's going to be the holiday set. I was really
Yeah.
concerned that was going to be, everybody was speculating, and like I said, it was speculating. We were, there was talk out there that it was going to be like a VMAX Climax set. My serious, I seriously do not like the Pokemon Go set from what I'm seeing right now. I don't know if it's fan art. I don't know if these are leaked cards, the ones that I have seen. But if they are leaked cards, they just took screenshots of the Pokemon from Pokemon Go and put them into the digitalized, Pokemon Go looking
Snips.
characters on cards. Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
it's like Detective Pikachu.
Yep.
Which we all know how well Detective Pikachu did. So I don't know. I'm kind of curious to see as we get closer. I'm not going to judge it yet because I don't feel that there's enough information quite out there yet on how it's going to be. I don't know if what the art is that we've seen or the cards that we've seen are just, someone in their basement having some fun, or if these are actually leaked images of the cards or what's happening on that part. So, like I said, I'm concerned. I don't know if this set, I don't know if I should be concerned. I just don't think that set in general is going to do really well, personally, if it's what I'm seeing.
I think it's what they do with it. Because I can tell you, Pokemon Go has a hell of a lot of followers worldwide.
Mm-hmm.
Like there is a big fan base of Pokemon Go players that have not a single Pokemon card, not one. And some that have Pokemon cards, dabble in this, dabble in that. And I think that
Pain in the butt.
Pokemon Go card set, a card pack, and you get what it is that they want in the game, they're going to buy the cards just for that aspect in the game. And I think there's the transposition of that too. I think there's people who are going to buy stuff that may be a part of the game to get the card. Yeah, I don't know what it is they're going to unlock, but I feel like something is going to be there with a connection between the two, and I feel like it's going to be strong, regardless of how not exciting the artwork looks and
No.
not exciting the set sounds from initial. Trying to get over the initial like feeling of it. I'm trying to be optimistic that maybe
Mm-hmm.
they're gonna do something with it. There's gonna be like I don't know. I don't know. I just hope that there's gonna be like more to it than just uh for instance, you made a very good example there actually that hadn't connected is a Detective Pikachu. Like they did
Mm-hmm.
nothing with that set. It was strictly screen captures from the movie and kind of different and out there and kind of fun. Other than that, I mean, it was literally screen grabs from the film.
Yeah.
So as long as that doesn't happen, I feel good that they'll do something, but it could.
I, yeah. I mean, that's just it. I mean, it could be successful depending on how you present it. That's why I don't really want to put too much into it right now. I'm gonna give it the benefit of the doubt to see where it goes. Um, but
We've got plenty of time at least to see what
I
unfolds.
exactly we got enough time to be seeing what kind of artwork we're actually looking at, see if that's official artwork or if that's just fan rendering or what's actually going to happen in this set. Let's just to me, yeah, I know it's there. I'm personally not excited in any way, shape, and form for it yet. That could change. That could definitely be different as it comes forward. So, like I said, I think I'm gonna just say let her ride and let's see what comes out of it. And as we see things come through, and as we see sets, and as we see artworks and things come out, then we'll make our better judgments at that point, I guess.
Yeah, I'm excited for the Detective Pikachu series, whatever that's going on with Netflix that doesn't seem to be coming to fruition. I don't know what's happening with that, but yeah, that's gonna be exciting. Do you
Yeah.
want to finish out with a Derek says you can get a Detective Pikachu Master Set for $30. I mean, that says it all. Obviously,
Yeah.
it's a fun set, it's fun cards, fun Pokemon in there, but it's not stonks like the kids say nowadays. It's nothing crazy going on.
Yeah.
Do you want to finish out with a Q&A? You see if we can
Yeah.
pull
Why
some
don't we
questions
just
from the chat.
yeah, let's see if they got any questions real quick. Maybe some input or something we can discuss. Try and
Cool.
keep her about another half an hour. That way
Yeah.
we're done here about 11 o'clock.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm good till
So
I don't start work till 7 a.m. So I'm good till 7 a.m.
oh, okay. I still got some stuff I need to do. Should have been done already. So
There you go, laundry.
so yeah, if you guys in the chat have anything that you guys want to discuss or have any questions on, definitely throw it up. Look through your chat. I don't know if there's any questions because you were talking about selling stuff up here. I kind of glanced at it while we were going.
We got some superstars in the chat tonight. I see a lot
Yes.
of fun people going on.
Yeah, a lot of stuff. A lot of conversation going on. So yeah, and make sure that anybody that's still here, make sure you go hit the like button on this video, of course. Helps out a ton if you can go hit that button quick. Yeah, now they're going to be quiet. You watch. Ask them a question, they all disappear.
Now comes the lag, I guess. So while we're waiting for questions, brilliant stars. We've got Charizards. I'm not talking about in terms of investment or value or what's going on, what it's worth, selling raw or whatever. Do you think this is going to be another situation now that PSA have dropped down a little bit in price? You can spend $50 sending them in. Do you think we're going to have 10,000 Charizards from the set being graded?
I think so. I
Deep
think
deal.
I think we'll be seeing a decent amount of them coming. Every time I sit there and say it's too expensive to see any of these stinking cards come back or make it into PSA, they still shove a ton of them through there. let's just, every time I think that there's no way they're going to do it. There's no way there's any value. And sure enough, they're on eBay week later for sale for PSA 10s, whatever, for a ridiculously high price. So, do I think they're gonna put them through PSA even at $50? Yeah, they're gonna go through. I still think people will pay the express on these things too, and really try and get ahead. Be the first few PSA 10s because it's the same thing as opening packs. The first couple weeks you make money. After that, you start breaking even, and then shortly after that, you start losing money on opening sealed product. And I feel the same with PSA 10s. These guys try to get these cards fast and ship them. They pulled a ton of booster boxes to pull these things, send them a PSA on Express, and they're going to try and sell them for $500, $600 off the bat. And then we'll see the markets on that in the next few weeks start to drop also.
I have to say, I agree, honestly. I really think people are going to send them in, whatever the price is, just because it's Charizard. Just knowing that if it grades good, they feel like they can't lose. I feel like it's that simple. All right, we've got a couple of questions.
Yep. I was just reading the one from Connorism 6 here. Realistically, they kind of just did that with celebrations. The damage parameters, it's all a throwback to what they were back when they came out. And I think the overall feeling on that is that it's a reprint. As if you were going to do a whole set to where they only played that set in competition, then yeah, I think it'd be a little bit more, it'd be fun. I think it'd be kind of cool to go back and that kind of stuff, but I don't know. People do enjoy, I want just overpowered Pokemon. They like the high-powered, the more power hit points that a Pokemon has and the more battle damage they can create, the more exciting that is. And I think, honestly, even myself, going back to the Wizards of the Coast formatting and damage parameters would be fun. It'd be nostalgic, but I don't know if I would enjoy it for too long comparatively to modern play now that I'm involved in modern play now.
Going up against it.
Yeah. Well, even if you just kept it where you're playing just that style against that style, if you were locked that as its own tournament set, I enjoy I enjoy the new formatting a little bit more than Wizards Codes, just because it's an evolution or evolving as it goes.
There's more. It feels like there's more like variables to control in the modern side of stuff, and I feel like definitely the what's his stuff. It's fun. There's nostalgia. It's exciting, but especially with celebrations. When I'm playing my deck online, for instance, I'm playing some of the celebrations cards. Actually, I'm playing quite a few of them, especially the Pikachu's, the flying Pikachu's, the flying Pikachu VMAX, the V and the VMAX. I'm not playing the original cards from celebrations. I'm playing the newer versions, the new things that are going on. So you would have to, if you're going to do a set like that, you've got to introduce some kind of modernity, some kind of like modern version of it. Changes. There's got to be a variation of diversity in there from modern to old to be able to actually use it. But there are people that play the older vintage sets just purely against older vintage sets just because they just love it. Some people just love playing base set cards, against other base set cards just for reliving childhood. It's really that simple, regardless of the technical aspects, the mechanical aspects, the whatever has happened since, with all the million different things that have happened and upgrades and changes and downgrades, whatever. There's definitely a part to that.
Yeah. And our LGSs actually have vintage nights. So they pick a different era. Like once a month, they have a vintage night. So you could use,
Oh,
so if you have old decks, so like myself, I could pull my, base set jungle fossil deck and Team Rocket
wow.
deck and go back and use that. And it's just fun. It's just nostalgic night more than anything. But they do that, and then they'll do it by generation. So they'll do Gen
Ah,
1 one month. They'll do Gen 2, Gen 3, Gen 4. So you can just continually, if you have battle decks from those eras, then you can go and actually do that. So it's a fun thing that one of my LGSs here does, and that's where you sit, you go back and have
fantastic.
that nostalgic fun. So
I love that. Yeah, I mean, I said earlier, it's just not happening in this area. I've seen nothing. The closest thing I've seen is someone offering to do my friend a CGC comic walkthrough, because CGC is like 20 minutes away from where we are, their head office where they do the grading. So they offered to do a CGC walkthrough for the comic side of stuff. I don't remember if it was CGC. I feel like it's got a different name for the comic side stuff. Maybe it is the same. I don't remember. Um, yeah, but like literally, like that's the closest thing that I've heard from anything from a comic store, or any kind of game store or anything nearby. So that's fantastic to do those kind of nights.
yeah,
I'm trying to see if we
and
have any other questions.
I'm just gonna say, Connor, yes, to me, to just finish off this whole conversation, his last comment here. Yes, I actually did love the taking the Pokemon from whatever generation that they were in and backdating them. So like the Toxtricity going back to the Neo era, taking Zamazenta and putting them at level X and keeping the battle parameters the same. To me, in the celebration set, and I've said this in my own videos, I enjoy the promos more than I enjoy the set. I think the promos were what I was more hoping to see in celebrations than the actual celebration set. Taking them and moving them throughout the generations of Pokemon and keeping their battle damages and keeping things, like you said, I could play those promos more than I could play the actual celebration set.
The Mimikyu, I think was, yeah, I think there's something to be said to sticking to roots, the kind of integrity with it on that side of stuff. Um, Barlock is asking, do you think the Pokemon full arts are mostly not great looking? And I would classify that as an unpopular opinion. I feel like most people love the full arts of most cards. I do
There,
think there are some Vs that I don't particularly enjoy, and I think are wrongly classified as from Pokemon in a sense, like they shouldn't have been a V. I think we kind of touched on that earlier with some cards. There's definitely some aspects of cards that are not really deserving of a full art card. But for the most part, I love the artwork and the effort that have been put into them on my end.
mm-hmm. you know, there are some certain full arts that I really don't like. Darkness Ablaze full arts are one of them. The whole techno colored background wasn't really my thing, but in general, I think full arts are really popular. They're really good looking cards. I think that they are a good compromise. Personally, I love full art trainers more than I like full art Pokemon because usually full art trainers have a story, like you said, the artwork and the story behind inside of them, whether they're out in the field, whether they have their Pokemon, whether they're doing something. To me, the full art trainers are a little bit better representation of full arts. Because like
Yes.
even I've got the Honchkrow here is another, these kind of flat backgrounds and stuff. I'm not so much. They're all right. I mean, they look good, and they are a good step up. But
Not
to me, I
exciting.
like it. I like like the alternate arts. That kind of full art is kind of what I enjoy, like the trainers, the alternate arts, and that kind of full art.
Show that card again. Hold that up for us real quick, because looking at that card, I'm seeing no story being told.
No.
Like there is nothing going on that I can connect to in that card right now. Looking at it, nothing.
Yeah. And that's just it. I mean, compared to like this full, if I'm going to go through my other ones here, I pull out this full art. To me, the full art VMAXs are fantastic because they actually tell a story. They have a background. They have some, like here, Umbreon with Karen, his trainer. To me, these are better full arts than just the standard like V full arts. The VMAX full arts, yeah, the VMAX full arts I enjoy. The V full arts are just they're a little bit more blah. They're a little bit more downplayed.
Yeah, worlds apart. I do hear that they're going to start making energy full arts.
We'll see. We'll see how that looks.
Did we get any other questions? Let's do one more question before we jump out. Okay. I know it's getting late. I don't want to keep you too late.
Like I said, we'll go. We can go until about 11. That'd be fine. Okay, that way we can get a few questions in here for people.
Yeah, we'll still got a bit of time.
Yep. Let's see. What do you think of the possibility of quite a lot of people holding hundreds, if not thousands, of cards, so that when PSA opens, so we've had this discussion before. When it came for Andrew here. Here's what I know from people that I know that have. I know a person that has 50,000 cards waiting to go to PSA in a bulk submission.
50,000.
Yes, he has 50,000 cards that he's conditioned in card savers, ready to go.
I got a few hundred. I thought I was like ridiculous.
You've got nothing. Oh my but here's what he tells me right now. It's gonna depend on how many of these things come back from PSA in the next year before he'll send anything. So my worry is, and this is what we've kind of discussed, in several other groups, is PSA comes back and we continue to get slammed because we have no idea. I don't think anybody truly knows how many Pokemon cards are at PSA. We know there's roughly 6.4 million cards still at PSA. It's down now from there.
Yeah, I think it said it was 5.4 in the last update.
Okay, I didn't see the last one, so I know before that.
Still, we're talking millions of cards.
Yeah, and we don't know how many of those are PSA, sports, and other stuff. It's just that's how many cards are in the backlog right now.
2 million. I don't know. Yeah. It's got to be a pretty big chunk.
Yeah, and most of these cards he has are WotC cards. So his thing is if the WotC market continues to get flooded out, this is where I say the singles market is in danger. Because if it gets to the point where even if it goes back to $15 a card for grading on bulk and you get even 10, how many of these cards now are dropping to the point where you've purchased the card, you've got to pay for grading, you got to pay for shipping, you get these things back, and you have to be able to make a profit on these cards if you like he used to do and sell them on his eBay store, used to sell them. He just said, I'll just sell the singles. He said, I'll dump the singles right in the market and I'll get what I get for them rather than spend the $20, potentially get $10 to $18 a card and lose money. He said, why would I lose money? I'd rather lose money on the singles and skip all the rest of the stuff and lose less money than. So that's where the singles market could become pretty volatile when this backlog's all done with PSA. It just depends on how it goes for PSA. How many of them are grading high? How many of them are grading medium? Where the numbers end up falling as these cards continually come back.
I don't think that I know anybody that isn't sitting on singles, sat in a card saver 1, ready to submit. I literally can't think of a single person that doesn't have some cards ready to throw in. That perfect example. That day
behind me.
That day that PSA opens up for $10, I feel like a lot of people are going to get tempted at 20. Like I really genuinely believe that 20 is going to be a big submission time. They're going to have to handle that very well in terms of maybe doing a lottery or an allocation or a limit, or I don't know how that looks.
Yeah. And like I said, it's really gonna. I think we're gonna get a better idea as this year keeps going on. I'm thinking by the probably the middle of the second quarter coming up here, by end of the second quarter going into third, you're probably going to get a better idea for what we're going to be looking at with these people with these tons of cards. Because as more and more of these get out of the backlog, as we start seeing these things kind of clear up, and you're really going to get a feel for what's going to happen to that singles market, how many of these cards are going to go to grading, and how many of them will just be dumped into the open market again.
Yep.
You know, just because people are going to get rid of them.
I feel like Connorism just summed up my video from yesterday.
I was gonna say you should go make sure he checks out your video.
Yeah, like Connorism, you need to watch my video from yesterday. Chevel's, what would I do with a bunch of amazing rares that were graded?
Sit on them.
Yeah, I think part of it is dependent on grade. I mean, if we're talking black labels, I would blast them to the sun to PWCC. For anything else other than an amazing grade that is potentially going to sell well right now, I would absolutely sit on them. Like Northwoods just said.
Yeah. Anything below 10 right now, I'd probably set on them. Black labels would definitely be anything back at 10 black labels. I'd probably start listing those, but anything less than that, I'm with you. I just don't. I think you're better off sitting on them. You might be sitting on them for 5 or 10 years, but that would probably be your best bet at this point because them things just keep coming and coming and coming.
I have one. You can't see it, it's behind my chair, but I've got a little 10 back there, and I have one of each ready to submit for grading just for me. So I have one grade. I don't even care what it comes back at.
No.
I just want one of each just for me, so I have the full set of amazing rares graded. I'm excited about it, honestly.
That's what I got in my pile too. It's inside my pile. There's one of each one of the amazing rares. Don't care about grade. Does make a difference.
I love them.
I think they're cool. They're a cool adaptation to it.
Love them.
Yeah. I just wish they would have did some more and maybe made them a little bit more rare. But
I don't understand why they didn't throw that energy into trainer cards with like trainers with like colors bouncing out of them, like some kind of pattern happening with a trainer giving it an effect. I was expecting that to come from Brilliant Stars, especially with Trainer Gallery, like expecting some kind of different holo pattern or whatever, but it didn't happen. Broke a Gem Mint Discovery Umbreon out of its PSA case to put into portfolio. Oh my gosh. Connorism is a brave person going on right now.
You know, I've got so many examples of cards that if they don't come back at 10, you're better off breaking them out and putting them in your portfolio or your binder. Or if you really want to, go and sell them. Perfect one is from Cosmic Eclipse to Rosa. If you...
He said Gem Mint, though.
Yeah, I know. It just...
A Gem Mint.
Gem Mint. Well, Gem Mint can be 9, too. You can get Gem Mint is 9.5 or not. I think Gem Mint is a 9, too. But there again, it's a perfect example as a Rosa. I mean, if you don't get a Gem Mint 10, it's $380 for a Gem Mint 10. The regular raw card is selling for $138. And if you get a 9, it's $102. So by getting a PSA 9 or lower, you go below the raw card price.
Worlds apart, yeah.
It's one of them weird. There's a lot of them now because we're getting so many 9s back and 8s back in some of these areas that the actual card itself is worth less in the case at a 9 than it is to break it out and sell it as a raw.
Yeah, I mean, you guys can check, not to plug my own YouTube here, kind of a humble brag, I guess, but I've been pulling the WotC data for the past few weeks, and there's no tens coming back. You know,
No.
there really isn't, especially hollow good WotC cards. In hollow the 10, they're just not coming back. People have submitted cards that
Mm-hmm.
are okay. I mean, the binders, the eights, the nines, just like you were saying, it's stuff that people are acceptable with. They enjoy. They like the card, but the grade just isn't there. So, yeah, I
Yeah,
think that's
that's just it. He said it definitely wasn't a 10.
yeah,
It's almost been a legitimate 9, but like I said, I just, to me, I'm just not really into grading. I never have been. I personally just like them for display ability. To me, like you said, I'm really not too concerned about the number on it because I'd rather just deal with the raw cards than, granted, if I can send it in and take a raw card for $20, $15 and turn it into a, if it gets an 8, 9, or 10 and I'm going to double my value on it, then sure, if I'm in it for the investment side and want to do that. But realistically, right now, with what's happened with Pokemon cards and grading, unless I know it's a 10, if for an investment or if I'm trying to make income or money on that card, if it's not coming, if I'm not 90, 85, 90% sure that's coming back as a 10, there really is no value in sending it there. I might as well
yeah.
just keep it in the binder. I might as well buy one of those little magnetic cases to display it versus sending it in to do that. Or if I want it cased, send it to GMA. I don't care about what the value is of the car. If I'm not going to sell it and I just want to protect it,
If that's it, yeah.
why PSA it? Why spend the extra money? And because I honestly don't think PSA in any time in the near future is going to go back down to $10 a card. I think they're going to stop at right around that 20 $25 a card, just because I don't think they want to get overloaded with all these people sending in mountains of stuff.
I think they'll be tinkering with 20 by summer. I think they'll get the greedy hats on and realize that despite having millions in the backlog, they can still keep bringing in more money, more
Yeah.
money, more money, more money.
Yep.
I really truly believe that they'll just add to the backlog in some capacity. It's minus one a day or minus 10,000 a day. I truly definitely believe that they know to be sustainable, they just need to keep bringing people in the door. It's really that simple. That's why at nightclubs 10 years ago, 15, 20 years ago, you were outside nightclubs in a line with 50 people, 2 in the morning, because they know that people are gonna keep coming no matter what time of night it is and how much they've had to drink. Like people will just keep hitting. They'll want to be involved and enjoy enjoy. And you know, there's not a direct comparison with nightclubs from Pokemon, obviously, but the mindset is there with PSA. They want to bring people in and keep them lining up and keep them coming in, despite whatever is happening on the inside.
All right. Kendall F. Recommendations for our marketplace for sealed cases of booster boxes besides eBay. If you're looking to purchase or sell, as silly as it sounds, if you live near a decent sized city, I've been having great success on Craigslist. It is old school. It is, but the beauty of it is that there's no service fees. So
Yeah,
I can sell this, and then the only service fee that's really involved is goods and services. If they're concerned or if you're concerned about purchasing or selling it, you're going to pay the goods and service fees. But other than that, Craigslist is a completely free listing service, and it seems like more and more people are using it now because of the fact that, like myself, I am tired of paying 13% to sell
crazy.
something just to list it on a site. To me, that just drives me absolutely crazy. And all of them are the same. TCG Player is 10, I think you're like 10 or 11%. eBay right now is 13%. Macari is like 9, but then they tack on another fee. So I think they're coming out now. It'll be 11%. They're all pretty much 10 to 13% right now. You're going to pay on a service fees for these big sites. Facebook Marketplace, I believe, is 8. So that's the only other place that I've been kind of using if I'm really trying to push something. But like I said, I've been having great success on eBay, especially locally. And I've been actually able to sell off, or not eBay, Craigslist. And you could actually ship with goods and services, or if they want to pick up, then they pay the transportation fee. They come pick it up. So it's actually done fairly well for myself. So definitely a great way to get away from them stinking service fees for using a website.
Yeah, I mean, huge. It's, we're talking about a percentage, but if you took in like real cards and real boxes, like, yeah, I mean, 10, 20, $100, whatever it is that you're going to save, just, depending on what you buy, and like 10% of anything is a big amount of money, whatever it is that you're
Oh yeah.
buying. You got credit card companies offering you 1.5% cash back. Like 10% is miles apart
Yeah.
from what your credit card company is offering you. Now, what I will say is if you're going to be using Craigslist or any of that stuff, use one of those special parking spaces at the police station. Like, try and be smart
Yeah.
about it, because
Yeah. Don't bring them to
I
your
like
house.
I have brought people to my house before, and it's been a very odd experience. I'll tell you,
Mm-hmm.
some very interesting people in my garage at my house, and yeah, try and like be smart about where you're going and what you're doing, because you can't trust everyone depending
No.
on their profile picture on Facebook. So yeah, be smart about it. But the Craigslist, Macari, Facebook, whatever it is, if you can try and pull them away from using any of those platforms and get them to meet with you and pay cash, or Venmo, whatever it is you want to do, goods and services through PayPal, try and do something where you can track it if you want to go that route. It's pretty smart. I mean, you can be smart about it and save the fees, just like Northwoods was talking about just then. Feel
Well, the
confident
other
by yourself.
the other place too that I'm going to mention is on Facebook. We talk about Facebook Marketplace. A lot of times, if you go to and look up, like there's Pokemon Market and Pokemon World 2.0 and that kind of places, once again, you can use Facebook, not go
Yeah,
through the marketplace with the listing. A lot of times you can actually search them and people will rate you inside of those sites. So you can search up, so and so's rating if you want to know if they're a reputable sales place, and rate them people if you purchase from them, because it's really helpful for the other people. But once again, then you're just paying goods and services instead of actually paying the 7% for Facebook Marketplace. So that's another option too. Kendall, I don't know if they have Craigslist up there. I see you're in Canada, but I do know they have Facebook. So I know them groups are all on Facebook, because I see people buy stuff from Canada and ship between the UK, Canada, Australia, the United States all the time.
bloody British people. Andrew Lopez, what do you think of the weird items like milk cartons, Japanese autograph cards? Ugh, I don't, I don't super love them, but I gotta tell you, people do love them.
Mm-hmm.
like you're talking about collecting for yourself because you like it, or you're talking about potentially holding on to something that could make some money.
Yeah. I think the milk curtains are cool. Personally, I think that they're a nice change, a new premium collection box, and you know, I think that they stand out. They're cool because they, from what I understood and when I looked, they had similar products in Japan for quite a while with the signed trainer cards inside a little promotional packaging that was specific to those trainers, and now they've just brought that here to the United States with the Marnie box, and now there's another one coming, and I don't remember the trainer off the top of my head. I looked this morning and I saw it, and I really should have looked at the name, but I didn't.
Is it
But
Skylar? I feel like
is
Skylar needs something.
Yeah, maybe. Like I said, I didn't look at the name of it, and I wish I would have. I just Coco put it up there for his things. Take my money, please, and I just saw the top of the box, so I'm
Mm.
didn't do much research into it yet. Something I gotta look into. But yeah, I think that they're really good, and like Professor Oak just said, it there is some great people that are buying these things. But even the Marnie box, I mean, it really once it hit $80, it kind of stalled. It really, I thought it would continue to move up as it got older, and I still think that there's. Last time I checked, and it's probably been about 2 months since I've looked, they were still sitting about that $85 to $90 mark. I haven't really seen a huge. Oh, Professor Juniper. So that's a new box coming out.
Oh, I did hear that actually. Yeah,
Yep, I did hear that somewhere else,
that's
but
right.
yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
Like I said, I didn't look at the box, so but thank you, Derek. But yeah, like I said, I was expecting that box to do a little bit better than what it did. I mean, and all the hype and everything behind it, and how fast it got to $80, and it was so limited. I mean, they have not done a reprint on that. We haven't seen more of them come out, and it kind of hit that $80, and that's what people were willing to pay, and that's pretty much where it's sat, plus or minus $15. So,
I couldn't get one. There was actually there was a very small imprint, and regardless, I couldn't get a hold of one.
no,
It just, I mean,
I
it was literally limited. Like you say, it just didn't happen. And I think that aspect escalates people that love money and the stuff that's inside. It's just like a double whammy. The fact that
mhm,
there wasn't surplus out there for people to grab, everyone that loved it.
yeah.
Yeah, you've got demand plus limited supply. I mean, it's gonna have some kind of effect. Who knows? Year, 2 year, 10 years, whatever. People are gonna love it no matter what. I can't imagine the money bugs ever dropping below retail.
No,
Ever. I mean, it's
no,
just not gonna happen.
I don't see that box really moving from where going down from where it's at right now unless we do get a significant reprint of it. Um, Maybe with this Professor Juniper one, they might sneak in a reprint of that Marnie box, but there's no, that once again, it's all speculation. There's no way of knowing that on that premium collection box. It's just the fact that sometimes they like to slip in a Mickey that, well, we're putting a new one out there, and this one was real popular, so why not slip, both of them in the shipment while we're going? We're building a similar product, so. But
Yeah.
like I said, there's no factor or anything. That's weird things that we see from companies like this. So I never had an opportunity to buy one of these at retail or MSRP price. Um, the one place that actually had them was one of those stores that takes it and sells everything at secondary market price in it. So I could have bought it at the $80, and to me at $80, it's just right now is not the time to pay $80 for that product. I didn't feel that back when it hit that. If I could have snagged it at MSRP, it'd be okay, but it's just like I said, there's other items that I can work on and get things moving on versus having that thing sit on my shelf for an investment aspect. Looks wise, it'd be cool to have it just for the collection, but once again, I don't feel that there's a rush until I see that thing start to move.
I don't know how it looks.
You don't
I
like how it
feel like
looks?
that's I feel like that's an unpopular opinion, but
Yeah.
I feel like it looks like a freaking milk carton. Like, I don't want a milk carton on display. Like, I don't know. There's just something. It just is a little odd to me. I don't know if it's that it's like, in a sense, almost immature. I don't know. I don't know how to describe it. Not immature. Like like it's almost trying to appease collectors
Hmm.
in a way. Like it's trying to appeal to what they know that we want. Like they know
Yeah.
what we want for the most part. I feel like it's trying to appeal and appease that aspect of us, and that doesn't excite me. I think what excites me is them doing something different that we wouldn't have expected,
Hmm.
almost.
And that's what I feel was done with this. I think that this was just trying something new in the English market. And that's
Now,
why I think that this next one's coming out is because they tried something new and it disappeared. The other part of it is too is that if you look at the time frame and when that Marnie box was released in a time when we were in a drought for product in between Chilling Rain and Evolving Skies. So how much of that is why it shot and why it has not continued to go up is
gimme,
we got
gimme, gimme.
gimme. We throw you something in the drought, it gets eaten up like crazy, and now we got a surplus of product all over the place. And I don't think that's why it hasn't come down, is nobody's willing to sell it for less than that secondary market price because a lot of people bought it at that, and thus
Do you
it's
know what
going
it's
to
at
sit
right
there.
now?
I don't, like I said, a couple months ago I looked at it again because I was just curious to see if I could. There was a couple of them going on eBay when I was searching through listings that ended up going right up for $83 2 months ago because I was trying to snipe them,
Yeah,
trying to get them around that $50 mark, and they went way up to where they secondary market price again.
still jumping. Last time I checked, it was like $80, and I was like, I mean, I would have bought one if I could have got it at a realistic price close to MSRP. I would have bought one, despite the not
Yeah.
that I don't love it, but like my curiosity with it, I guess I would say. I would
You
have
know,
still bought one, but it was still just too high for what I think it is.
we got time. We can do one more question if you're up for it. If anybody's got one.
Do it.
If
Yeah,
anybody's got one more question, hit us up.
my dogs have their legs crossed right now, I'm sure. For things.
So yeah, and I do like that premium collection, Derek, for the fact that for a premium collection box, it does not take up much space. You know, that's always my biggest complaint with premium collection boxes is that there's so much airspace in them packages that it's a pain. I mean, you can't really hold a ton of
Wait,
them.
what was this? This Amazon Prime collection taking up like
Yeah, I know. I got one of them too.
it's like a 7 foot box by like 5 foot by 12. Like, what's going on with that? Like, there was nothing in it. I opened it up and there was like five things in it. I'm like,
I know.
yeah, yeah,
That's like the
that is
Pikachu figurine box.
yeah,
Whole 2 foot of air in it. Yeah. Sticking out,
junk.
2 feet of extra air. You could have just made a
Yeah,
little.
I mean, you can see it.
I know.
Stands out like a sore thumb. Like, yeah, it's
You could have
ridiculous.
literally made that box the size of an ETB for what's in it. Literally, you could have just cut a window in the side of a ETB box, put the little fake glass in it, figurine, and put the packs in the side. But they make it into that big monstrous box.
Do you imagine? Can you imagine how good they could have made that look, even if they had one little clear slot in the front?
Yeah.
For the Pikachu.
They could have just cut the figurine on a Pikachu. You know, made the window the shape of Pikachu and been done with it and put it into a lot smaller box. But, well, it doesn't look like we're getting any more questions. So, like I said, guys, this is sleeping.
Just fell asleep with their earpods in. That's what it is.
Yeah. So, like I said, guys, this is the first one of our TCG League of Legends. This is going to be not just Professor Oak and I. This is going to move to the 6 other people in the description. I'll put them back in the description because I don't know if they're on this live with the issues we were having. But if you come back in just a little bit, I'll have them down in the description below. Definitely subscribe to their channels. And like I said, we're going to... And it's not just going to be Pokemon. I mean, a few of us specify in Pokemon. We've got a few in the group that do outside of Pokemon. So we're definitely going to be covering some more ground, some more conversations on some of the things that are happening, and just kind of opening it up. It's just kind of a new endeavor we're all kind of trying, and we'll see how it goes, and hopefully this works out good. And the other thing is that we're kind of going to try and turn this into a podcast too. It's kind of the ultimate goal. So it won't just be the video. We'll also be doing this podcast. So if you're on the road or something, you'll be able to catch this and go with it.
Fantastic. All right, let's sign out.
All right, guys.
Thanks for the evening.
Yep. Thanks for joining Professor Oak. Got a couple more things we gotta stream to be able to multi-stream. Apparently, we'll figure that part of it out too. We can get them on both channels. But other than that, guys, thanks for joining us. Make sure you